What is happening right now?
What's the lie?
She's like, Erik, let me get to my point. And Eric's like, do you even have a point?
Anyway, go ahead and...
Yeah.
Why are there two open mouths with uvulas? Do you see that behind the table? These people get weirder and weirder, I swear. Oh my word.
I thought of a lie that I have told.
One.
I've told this story.
She's about to admit to a lie. This is earth-shattering. Everybody, hold your breath. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Dating According To, where we're going to be analyzing dating according to everything, anything going on in society. And today I'm going to be reacting to Dealing with a Pathological Liar, one of the most recent relaxed podcasts with Colleen and Erik. This is going to be a new format. I'm curious to see what y'all think. I'm trying to have the least amount of editing with this style of reaction video. I probably will have to edit some because their video is already 47 minutes and 42 seconds long, and Lord knows I don't even want to hear myself talk that long, so we'll see how this goes. But if it works out pretty well that the minimal editing is cool with y'all, then that'll be great. That'll be an easier video for me to upload every week, and then maybe I can spend a little more time on a different video, so let me know. Just want to put a disclaimer out there. I don't support Colleen or Erik personally. I do think they seem like very concerning people, but that doesn't mean that I'm not able to have a level of empathy if I feel like one or the other is mistreating each other, you know, in the dynamic. So if I do say something like, oh, I feel so bad for him or her, it doesn't mean I'm supporting them. Also, I saw a lot of people commenting that a lot of how Erik behaves is probably because Colleen has treated him really poorly for a long time, which is really sad and probably very true. So I don't want to downplay that either. But anyway, all right, let us get started and see what happens. And I'll be sipping on my nice warm milk while we go. So, all right. Oh,
Just saying my name.
Yeah. Just call you babe.
Start this over.
You absolutely do not. I'm Colleen Ballinger, though, not whatever he said. But you are Carrot.
I am. Data Carrot.
Data Carrot. And
Welcome.
we're here on Relax the Podcast to talk.
I'm going to pause that right now. Oh, wait, I'm going away. Where did I go? Okay, well, we'll see how this goes. I have really wondered how Carrot feels about being called Carrot. I just called him Carrot on accident. I've been really curious for a while now because I know that she's done that. She's created that nickname for him. I think their daughter called him that one time because she couldn't pronounce Erik, and now Colleen has called him that ever since, and I do not think he likes it, but who knows?
Absolutely nothing and bore you to tears.
That's not true.
That's not true. We've got some great stuff we're going to talk about today.
I have a whole note in my phone about stuff.
I'm sure you do. I can't wait to hear about all the things. I only have like one thing that I want to talk about.
Okay.
It has to do with liar, liar, pants on fires. But
Liar, pants on
But I want to
fire?
hear your relaxes first.
What do you mean?
Kind of like,
We'll talk about my liar, liar, pants on fires later.
Do you think I lied about something?
I think a lot of us feel like Colleen lied about something, but she's not wanting to talk about that, I'm sure. Anyway.
Oh, no.
Oh,
It's shocking because you're like an incredible actor.
bad liar.
Bad liar.
Well, I think that makes sense because in acting, I feel like in your eyes, you're showing the truth of the blah, blah, blah. You know what? But you know what I mean? Like it's just, there's supposed to be something going on underneath, right? I think it's like there's something there, right? The soul. Soul eyes.
Soul eyes.
Can't lie.
Yeah.
Soul eyes,
At
can't
least,
lie.
yeah, I don't know. You're not a great, I feel like I always can tell when you're lying. But I want to hear your relaxes.
Question for you.
Answer for you.
Do you have issue with this younger generation
Oh, no. So we're starting it today?
insisting on? Well, I've just seen this debate, and I've like questioned it myself because like I just kind of fell into it, not even thinking about like my principles on the subject of socks and high socks versus ankle socks. I've talked about socks before, I'm sure.
Yes.
In this
Okay.
podcast.
This is going to be so mean, but if the most important story you have to talk about on your podcast this week is whether people should wear high or low socks, I'm pretty sure you'd need to do something else with your life, and that's my opinion. Anyway.
last week.
No. But like I put on a brand new pair of socks this week, and I was like, oh, there's nothing better than like a brand new pair of socks. Like it just feels like a nice little foot hug.
I mean,
It's great.
I would disagree with that. There's a lot of things better than a brand new pair of socks.
Well, I'm just saying, not nothing is better, but it's pretty great.
Okay.
I was like, this is pretty great. This doesn't need to relax.
Good for
but
Erik.
But they were crew socks. They're the high socks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wearing them with sneakers and shorts, and I was off to the gym in my crew
Off
socks.
to the races.
And I was like, I'm doing this. And then I saw something online where there's a big like debate where millennials are like, no, we're never giving up our ankle socks. Ankle socks look better. They make you look taller. They're this, they're that. You know what I mean? And so that was like, then I saw, it's just like,
you wear whatever socks make you the most happy in life. That is the last thing any of us needs to worry about. But I honestly do agree. I do prefer ankle socks, I have to say. But again, do what you want.
it's like an online, I don't even know if it's a debate. I think it's just that millennials are like, no, we don't care if we look like idiots to you. We're not going to wear crew socks. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, are you on Facebook? Is that where you're seeing this?
No. Yahoo News. It was on Yahoo
Yeah,
News.
I believe that. AOL.com, .net.
My news sources, yes, Yahoo.
No, I've seen people talk about the like ankle socks are out, but that's been going on for a very long time.
Yeah, sure.
But I haven't seen anyone, like, I haven't seen millennials really like fight it. I've just seen millennials go like, oh, is this really what you want us to do? Like this, the high socks? This is, how do we do this? Like, I've seen millennials like,
It makes me think of my grandfather. My grandfather would do that. I was
like
like,
where the,
whoa,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, the ankle socks are out. They're like super,
I know, I wore ankle socks my entire life. And then it was like this whole no-show socks thing, which is like,
those were a nightmare. Thank
nightmare.
God.
Nightmare on so many levels.
No-show socks are horrific.
And so that
I do hate that I'm agreeing with them on anything, but I guess if I'm agreeing with them on socks, I suppose that doesn't really break any of my moral codes. It's true. The no-shows roll under your heel immediately and is terrible. So, again, they are right, but why are we talking about socks? I don't know.
Guys, I was like, okay, yeah, I can get on board with that, sure. But then I didn't realize that like people like are sticking to their guns. That they're like, no,
Yeah.
well, ankle socks are better.
No, ankle socks are not better. You don't want,
But why?
no, you don't want ankle socks.
What are they? Are they less comfortable?
No, it's not about that. It's a style thing. I mean, you know me, I'm a big fashionista.
Okay.
And I know all about fashion. But I think it's just, it's the same as anything with like the trends go in and out of style and whatever. And
So it's just in style now to have.
it's just in style, I guess,
Yeah.
to have like socks that you can see and
Yeah.
not socks that are hidden with underneath. And if you wear the low like ankle socks, that is like a very good indication that you are like an out of style millennial or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, who cares, you know? It's
Okay,
a freaking-
fine with me. That's all I have to say is fine with me. I will be out of style. Thank you, and good night.
But
I don't know.
what am I wearing?
These are the
I'm
things
wearing,
I think about.
I'm wearing socks. They're like socks. I don't know.
Oh,
They're not
but
ankle.
I think I picked a bad time to bring this up because this is a Quarterland sock.
Oh yeah, no, those aren't good.
But I do have lots of crew socks.
But you do look very good right now. Like, are those
quarter-
new shoes?
What?
Are those new?
Or newish.
There's
yeah.
like a lot going on. There's like
There's
a
a
leopard
lot
and a
going on.
zebra.
I thought they
think,
were too
and
weird.
So many prints. I love them. They're fun.
They were on sale. They're on special, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they're too weird to not get.
I like them. They're cool. Socks though, you might get canceled for those socks.
For quarter socks.
Those I
Do
think.
they even sell
to
these
me-
anymore?
To me, those might be worse than ankle socks, and I'm not sure that quarter socks were ever like a thing.
Can
No,
we
they've
please
never been
move
a
on?
thing.
No.
But it's me not knowing where I stand in this battle between ankle and crew.
You can figure it out in your
I'll
own
get
time.
quarter socks, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't
Mistake.
care. I don't know anything of steak.
Mistake. I shouldn't have brought up socks. I should have. If was gonna do this, I wasn't planning on it.
I thought you were just screaming the word
thought
steak.
about it.
Like
I wish you would at this point.
My tummy hurts.
always.
Shocking.
You should get that checked out.
I went because I ate at a salad bar today.
Where did you find a salad bar post?
A grocery store
COVID.
salad bar. That's what I'm saying. Like I thought we were gonna do away with this, and I was gonna get like a prepackaged salad, but then I was like, no, I want to be in charge.
Okay, I gotta pause
Under
this as
control
well.
of this.
So, I feel like I've heard him say in podcasts before, if you can even call this a podcast. I feel like he said my tummy hurts, and I know he's just trying to be funny with speaking like a little kid, but like you are a grown man with children. Why? I feel like both he and Colleen, he's probably learned this from Colleen, I feel like they enjoy infantilizing their terminology and they think it just makes them endearing. And I think after everything that's gone down, whether or not you believe it, it's disturbing more so than anything to me. I just wish you wouldn't do that, but whatever. Come on.
Salad that's going into a wrap, you know? And it got to the end of the salad bar where there's like the protein. So we should do away with salad bars. We've established that, right? Because it's like, doesn't seem hygienic at this point. But that's what I had today. And I got to, and I made my whole salad. At the end is the protein. And there was what I believe to be tuna and what I believe to be chicken. And they were indistinguishable from each other. And they were not labeled.
Chicken and tuna?
Yeah, they're in different things, right? But they looked very similar somehow.
What?
Shredded chicken,
Okay.
like rotisserie maybe,
Yeah, okay.
and then like tuna. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna put what I think is the chicken
That is
in it, and then it ended up
absolutely-
tasting like. Can you imagine?
Minced chicken in a salad?
In a
Wet
salad bar, yeah.
minced
It wasn't
meat?
cubed, yeah. It was
That's
like shredded.
gross.
No,
So, like, I
actually,
thought it
no,
was
no,
the
no,
chicken. I
no.
got
The
home-
whole like chicken salad on a salad, if you haven't done it before, do it. It's actually delicious. It's not gross. You gotta get like some nice mayo and some nice like, bits of onion maybe and seasoning and just ask my husband, he's done it before. It's delicious. But that would be a very sad moment in life if you think you're getting chicken and you're getting tuna because it might be called chicken of the sea, tastes nothing like chicken. Yes, I do feel bad for anyone who runs into that situation.
This whole wrap, I was starving, and I take a bite, and it's tuna.
That's what you get for putting wet meat in a salad.
There was no place for tuna in this, what I had assembled for this wrap.
ruin your
And-
day?
Well, it just like, it caught me off guard, and it really,
I hate that when you take
Made
a bite
your
of
tummy
something or a
hurt.
sip of something and you
yeah,
think it's
you're
gonna be one
expecting
thing. And,
something else.
yeah, no, that's the worst. One time I took a big swig of what I thought was water.
Vodka?
We must have had like a big get together or something the night before. And I thought it was water on your nightstand, like your side of the bed.
Nope, straight
It was
vodka.
not.
Vodka?
It was an alcoholic
Oh, was it
beverage.
really?
Yeah,
I
it
was
was.
making
But
a
it was
joke.
like watered down because like the ice had melted.
Oh,
Must have been like a
yeah,
vodka soda or something. Who knows what it was? I don't know.
Sounds like the worst.
Well, I don't know, whatever
I made
you
that
had that
mistake.
night. And it was the morning and I took a huge sip of it and I was like, ah! Like that was, to think you're getting a sip of water and
Yeah.
to sip that was a
Shocking.
shocking and
Shocking.
very unpleasant surprise. So
She
I'm sure that
says,
was similar
yes.
to your tuna
Exactly the
experience.
same thing, yeah.
I'm sorry about your tuna
I don't know why.
moment.
Because I think I'd done a weird burp or something before we started recording, and I was
Oh,
like,
was it tuna flavored?
I was like, I'll tell you about it. I
That's-
gotta save this for the podcast.
We do fish oil pills now, and I will say those burps are not pleasant. So, fish burps, not a fan of them. But anyway,
Story to
Such a
tell.
good story. Like I could just tell you, I accidentally ate tuna, thinking it was chicken, but it's too good to not have anyone that would ever.
I love
listen
tuna
to this
salad, so
podcast
I would not have been
also
sad. But
be hearing that story for the first time.
Well,
with
I have
you.
a relax if you want to hear it. It's not about
Please.
tuna.
Please save us.
And it's not about socks, but
Okay.
it is about liars.
Well,
and she points at
So I
her
was thinking
husband.
about, I saw a TikTok. Sorry to start every story like that, but I do see a lot of TikToks these days. This is TikTok of this girl. She's like, hey, have you guys ever known a pathological liar?
Mm-hmm.
And she started telling the story about this like person, who lied to her.
I
about
wonder-
something, and I was like thinking
I'd
about
love to know how TikTok fed pathological liar TikToks to Colleen. I mean, I don't know how or why, in what universe it would have done that. Just saying. That's all I'd say.
I was like, oh, I feel like I've known so many. And like a pathological liar is someone who lies kind of for no reason because, it's, I guess, common to just lie in general. People lie, like human beings lie from time to time. And it's usually for a reason like, oh, they don't want to get in trouble or they don't want to hurt someone's feelings or, there's like a reason behind it. Whereas like a pathological liar, I guess, I mean, I'm no scientist, I'm no doctor, but like,
No, you just are one. A pathological liar, that is. Anyway, sorry.
pathological liars, I think they lie literally for like,
In
I
my
think it's no
opinion.
reason. Like they're just like, it
I think- is
seems that way.
I think
It's
that's-
just
yeah,
bizarre.
Hence the term pathological. Like it's
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, exactly. Well, anyway.
there's no path of the logic.
Have you ever known a pathological liar, or have you ever thought that you might know a pathological liar? I have so many questions about lies. Once this came up, my mind just started swirling. I was like, what's a lie that I've told? What's a lie that Erik has told?
Okay, this is so interesting because she obviously, Colleen, I'm sure, knows very, very well what the entire internet who doesn't like her thinks of her. So she knows very well that a lot of people see her as a pathological liar. And so it's so fascinating that she's asking her husband, have you ever known one? I'm very curious to see where this goes because I'm sure for sure he's going to not point the finger at her and he may not even think that she is one. But I feel like this is an intentional jab at all the people who see her as one, and maybe even an attempt at control over the narrative with him. I don't know. This is, oh my word, this is getting like bizarre. Okay.
Because I know people I think might be pathological liars.
Yeah, I've definitely known a few.
What's the weirdest lie you've been told that you know is, can you think of one? Because I can think of like a bunch off the top of my head of random people who told me the weirdest lies for.
Colleen, I can think of a bunch that you've said too. Yeah. Oh my word, this is so bad.
Yeah, it's hard because like I don't want them to know that I know that they weren't in the Olympics, kind of a thing.
Oh my God.
But like stuff like crazy stuff like that. I mean, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I can think about times that I've lied that I then laugh at myself for. I lie about my height a lot.
You what? You lamp on a height?
I lie about my height a lot.
Oh yes, you do lie about your height.
Like,
okay, I gotta pause on this. Lying about height. I have not really done. I did online dating years ago. Haven't done it in a while now, but I definitely have heard of numerous people meeting guys who lied about their height online. And if there are any men watching this who are doing online dating and are trying to figure out how to do their online profile well, please don't lie about your height. I'm so sorry if you don't like how tall you are, and I'm so sorry if you feel like women are going to pass you by if they know your real height. But the reality is, if one of the first things you find out about a guy is that he's not truthful about his height, or a girl, either way, then you're all of a sudden going to have the starting point of, okay, so they were okay with this little lie. And yeah, maybe it's a little lie. Maybe it doesn't drastically harm anyone in the grand scheme of things. But if they're okay with that little lie, what about this little lie? Complete tangent, but just thought I'd put it out there. Anyway, that's all. Thank you.
Audition.
You're always a different. I never know what I'm gonna get.
I like because you have to do what's called a slate, where you say like your name, your height, and like where you're based. You know what I mean? Like where you're from. I always am like, I feel like this character would be 6 feet, or this character would be 6'2", or 6'1". It's just those three.
No, you say 6 feet. Yeah, I guess you don't go below 6 feet.
I think I'm 6'1", but at one physical, one doctor said you're 6'2".
Yeah, you switch it up. Every time we do a self-tape, it's either 6'1", 6'2", or 6 foot.
Yeah.
It's never the same. I never know what I'm going to get with you with that one. Is that your big lie? That's your thing? I don't know that I can think of a big lie.
I think, yeah, I mean, I don't, what else?
I don't know.
What do you know what do you know?
I don't know anything.
I feel like
I wouldn't know because it would be a lie
or something.
No, this is all a trick. Come in. Anyway, no, I was thinking about all the weird lies that I've been told by people. And
give me some.
Well, like one time
I'm sure she sees everything that she's been told recently as a complete falsehood. So I'm sure she's not going to include any of those millions of lies that she's been told.
Person had like this person would lie about the most random things, like the most random things. And one time this person was like, had keys, and on this person's keychain was like, I don't know, some weird big hunky keychain thing. I don't even remember what it was, but it was all like rhinestoned. And I was like, oh, cool. I like your sparkly keychain. And she was like, I rhinestoned it myself. And I was like, oh, really? That's so cool. And then I like took it and I was like looking at it closer. And she's like, yep, I individually rhinestoned the whole thing. It took me hours. And I'm looking at it and it's like very clearly like a sticker of like, and it's very clearly like a manufactured bulk item. Like it was obvious, blatantly obvious this person did not rhinestone it. And she wasn't joking. She was like dead serious that like she would lie about like tons of stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
And that was fascinating. I was always very interested in
The
like,
rhinestone, what?
We can never know, obviously, what's going on in Colleen's brain, but she probably would say that there's been a few things that she's lied about here and there, but a vast majority of her recent times, she probably would say she's told the truth, because I don't think that she sees anything accurately in terms of how she's handled things and why she's done certain things. What we can all see as just being completely invalid and wrong, she sees as like probably like a mild mistake at best, if even. So the fact that she's sharing this story about this other person shows that she likely has absolutely no comprehension of her own abilities to just constantly lie, which I know there's some people out there that don't see her as a pathological liar, but a lot of us do.
thing. But it was like, but why? Like, just why?
And this is when you were cross-examining her, like she was on a witness stand. Like, this was a silly thing to lie about.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was like the weirdest thing. Like, why even lie? Or like this. There's one of my favorite lies of all time.
I'm not a psychologist, obviously, but I feel like if someone lies about something really small that makes them seem cool or talent, I mean, like same thing with the love you, baby. Same thing with like the height thing on dating profiles. I feel like sometimes people don't even want to go the super grandiose route. They almost want to go the route that seems imperceptible with little lies that still will make them feel a little cooler. If you see, so with this girl, if Colleen saw her as someone who was capable of bedazzling, whatever, rhinestoning something really well, that might elevate her in Colleen's mind, she thinks. So she's okay with lying about that. She might not say that she cured cancer, but she will say that she rhinestoned something. I don't know. I could be totally off base, but I would imagine little lies like that. I'm sure there's probably mental issues that explain a lot of that. I have not done enough research. Hopefully through this channel I'll learn. But I would assume that it's just someone's attempt at making themselves seem a little cooler than they really feel like they are. Yeah, anyway.
One of my favorite lies of all time. This one wasn't from a pathological liar. This is just someone who's lying because they wanted to be right. Okay, so this is a friend of mine who I love dearly. But I was on tour and
I have to pause. Okay.
air conditioning in
Stop talking, Colleen. Please stop talking in general, but I shouldn't say that. Sorry, that's kind of mean. The number of times she mentions being on tour, where she's gone in the world, having been on Broadway, this woman, I strongly believe, hates, with all capital letters, the fact that she is no longer who she was. And I don't think she's anywhere closer to accepting that now than she has been ever since, the whole cancellation happened. I really think she lives in a lot of bitterness that she tries to cover with like this weirdly smiley, rock-loving facade. But I don't think she has any more calm about that than she ever did, because I don't think she'd be mentioning it all the time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe she's supposedly made peace with it, and that's why she mentions it so much. But just given everything about her, I think it's just her really just still boiling inside over all of that. Come on.
We were driving around in, and it was extremely hot. And that was like, when we were like booking everything, we were booking the flights and the hotels and the cars and whatever. I was like, okay, when we get this big car that we're going to be driving around on tour, this big, like huge van thing.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that it has air conditioning, because it's going to be the summer. It's going to be hot. Like, we have to make sure it has air conditioning. And I was reassured multiple times, yes, it does. And I was like, okay, cool, yay. Does it have air conditioning? Like, once we booked it, and it has air conditioning. Yes, it has air conditioning.
Well, why is that an option? I think air conditioning comes pretty much standard on vehicles.
In America, but in other places, sometimes it doesn't.
Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
And so I just wanted to make sure. And sometimes older cars, I don't know, we're getting a deal on some older car that has bad air conditioning.
I think they had air conditioning in the 70s.
I'm just saying. In America, I wouldn't think about it.
Getting like a vintage 50s Mustang?
No, in other countries, in other places where the weather's different, like they don't care.
She's getting annoyed. She's like, stop derailing my story.
Where in the world?
Look at her. She's even doing that.
Where in the world are they like, we don't care about air conditioning in cars?
I was doing a tour in...
Tell me where.
In England.
In England? Mm-hmm. Do they have heaters?
I don't know if this car had here. We didn't want one. It was the summer.
Fine, we have windows.
We were in... I'm pretty sure it was a tour in England. And... we were driving all around.
I would love to know if there's any viewership in England on this video. Let us know. Do your cars tend to have both AC and heating? Apparently, this is of ultimate interest.
I'm pretty sure that's what the tour was. But I know I was somewhere
in like
on that side of the
van,
world.
in like a van,
in like a huge
like
van.
a Sprinter type
yeah.
van.
Yeah, like a Sprinter van. And I was like, make sure, double check, triple check this got air conditioning. Because I've been over there many times, and I have been in cars and in vehicles that don't have air conditioning. And in the summertime, it can get hot.
But they don't care.
Well, it's only hot for like a week, you know?
Okay.
So it's like, they're like, we can handle a week of no air conditioning. So anyway,
Let's not have
like
that
even
in
when I
our
just went to
cars.
Paris, when I went to Paris, so like when I was looking to book a hotel, half the hotels didn't have air conditioning because they just don't. You just open the window, you know? It's just like...
Because they're really old buildings?
Maybe, but mostly because like the weather typically doesn't get like too hot.
I get annoyed at how much he interrupts her, but something that I need to keep in mind is some people are okay with communication styles that to me feel really grating. And I mean, I have in my past been someone who's interrupted a lot, so I'm trying to not do that as much in life. But the amount that he's interrupting really annoys me. Maybe it doesn't annoy her all the time until he just until she's like, I'm ready to continue with my story. I don't know. That is something that I think is really helpful when you're trying to figure out a dynamic with someone. It's helpful to learn what does and does not annoy them in communication styles. And obviously, it's not that we can 100% change from absolutely everything we've learned. But if there's little tweaks we can make to make communication smoother and more enjoyable for the other person, I think that's always important. So who knows? Maybe they've had that conversation. Do I think they have? No. But anyway.
I don't know. That's what I think, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, I wanted to make sure this car had air conditioning. My goodness. The story is not interesting enough to be this long.
Yeah.
So,
She's annoyed.
we get in the car and we just so happened to be there during a heat wave. It was so hot the week we were there. And it's like abnormally hot because, you know, over there it's typically cloudy and cold. And so it was so hot and I was like, oh my gosh. So we got in the car and I was like, okay, you turn on the air conditioner. And there was an air conditioner. There's none to be found. And I was like, what? I double checked.
Kind of problem
we got air
because for
conditioning.
you, because like these are long drives.
Yes. These are long drives.
Hours in a car.
Yes, very like many long hours. And it was a long journey. Like it was like over a week of maybe 2 weeks or something like that or more. I don't remember, of traveling around in a car during a heat wave.
Oof,
of like, you know,
rough.
3-4 hour drives every day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a situation where you open the window because it was a Sprinter van where the windows didn't open in the back. Like it was like a blacked out, you know, kind of vibe. So you can't open the windows for ventilation. So it was just hot. And for some reason, this particular van that we had, the like heat, like the exhaust of the car or something would like blow into the back of the car. Like I don't even know how they did this.
What's the lie?
So I'm kidding. Okay. So it was hot, is what I'm saying. And so I was frustrated because I was like, I double checked.
She's like, Erik, let me get to my point. And Eric's like, do you even have a point? Oh, their communication styles. I am getting so warm in this hoodie. Oof, I got it on Temu, I think, and it's great for if it's winter, but it's not winter. So anyway.
Checked, like, how did this happen? Like, what the heck? And I was friends with the person who like had booked it. So like we were like laughing and joking about it. I was like, how did this happen? Like, how did you book a car? Like I checked so many times. Like,
oh yes, I'm sure she was just like laughing and happy and like totally not making a big deal of it. I'm sure she was like not pretentiously basically wringing their neck over doing this. Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know her, but yeah, thoughts.
I think he just didn't want to admit that like he didn't look for air conditioning. Like he just assumed it would have it, or maybe the company messed up or whatever. I don't know why, but he didn't want to just say like, oh yeah, sorry. Well, there's no air conditioning. Let's go pick up a fan, you know, like whatever. So he was like, well, it's not even hot. And I was like,
well, that's gaslighting.
Hot. Like it's so hot in this car. So we start this long drive.
Pick up a fan?
It's blazing hot. Like it is.
Put a fan in the car?
Yeah, because there's like an outlet in the back. Because it's like a big Sprinter van.
Interesting.
But we didn't get a fan. We didn't do anything because he refused to admit that it was hot in there.
Was he sweating?
That's the thing. And so like it was so hot, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was like so sweaty hot. Like we were all just drenched in sweat in the back seat. And I was like, oh my God, we have to do something. Like
disgusting.
This is so hot. And I was like asking everyone, like, are you hot? Everyone's like, yes. And so everyone's dripping in sweat. And I didn't go, it is so hot in here. How do you not agree that it is hot? And there's sweat trickling down his face.
Oh no.
And he, so serious. Like he was not joking. He was like, no, it's not hot at all. And I was like, it is so hot. And he was like, no, it's It's actually quite cool in here.
It's
Like,
not- I'm
and he
like
would-
hearing.
it was
I don't know
like
why I'm
this-
hearing like.
I don't know. I mean, the way she told that story, there's something I just don't believe about that. But who knows? Maybe she's just adding details, and that is generally how it went. That's bizarre. I could see it going one of two ways. Some people don't really notice that they're sweating, are accustomed to sweating. Some people just run hot. So his definition of what's really uncomfortably hot might actually be way different if he's just accustomed to running hot. But I could also see him trying to save face and not admit that for whatever reason they weren't able to get the vehicle that was promised. Clearly not the right way to handle this, and Colleen is making that very obvious and totally like shaming all of these people on the World Wide Web. Thank God she only gets like 40,000 views on her videos now.
My head.
I know, because there's a scene in Bridesmaids where it's
where
like
she's
she's
like,
like
yeah.
got diarrhea, but she doesn't want to admit it. She
That's
has it,
what
so
it
she's
is,
like
yeah.
eating an M&M, and she just like forced the one M&M in her mouth.
Yeah.
It was literally that scene. Like, I was like, we were dripping in sweat. I'm like, why would you, like, why lie about this? Just say, like, yeah, it's hot. Like, let's find a way to get air conditioning, or let's find a fan, or like, yeah, it is hot. Oops,
Yeah.
just something. But
And also to that, I know this is not me commenting on her and Erik at all, or Carrot, my bad. But in a situation like that in life, really, like, what he should have done is, even if he truly felt that things were comfortable, it's always important to, whenever possible, be aware of how the people around us are feeling, both emotionally, but also even physically. And even if we don't feel that way or sense that, if they are uncomfortable, if they're preferring something else and it's a reasonable request and it's possible, we should always strive to do that, because that shows respect, it shows care, it lets people feel seen and heard. And I'm still learning just the words are not coming to me, it's late at night, but just the unbelievable value of making sure that people in our lives, especially the people closest to us, really truly are and feel seen and heard. It's a skill that takes a long time to learn and grow in, and I'm growing in that. But yeah, this guy really should have actually made sure that they were cared for, if possible. Sounds like he was just like, blinders, we're fine. The end.
the fact that like he would not admit that it was hot, even though he was dripping in sweat, was infuriating to me. And
I think
anyway,
that's funny.
it was very funny. In hindsight,
The
it was
end.
funny at the time
Wow.
too. Like, we still like laugh about it all the time, but
Yeah.
that was a funny moment. But
That took way
oh,
too
sorry,
long.
did you have more? You pull up your phone like you got relaxed. It's ready
Was
to
there
go.
more to that?
No,
that
that
was
was
the longest story.
Just like
because
I've ever
somebody
heard.
kept interrupting with
Well, I was just. I'm a
interjections.
logic person.
Somebody,
trying to-
Erik, somebody. I wonder who kept interrupting me. I totally called it. She was getting more and more annoyed at that. And that would be annoying. Yeah. And if they had like a cute, fun relationship that everyone wasn't secretly believing was imploding, I wouldn't have an issue with her making a little comment like, somebody was interrupting me. But just knowing what is likely their dynamic, it's just like, I'm sure this is not even just a daily thing. I'm sure this is like almost every hour on the hour. There's like, yeah.
Logic in.
Yeah.
It's like the one place you do need air conditioning
100%.
is in a car.
Especially during a heat wave on long drives. But the point wasn't about that. It was just about like he refused to tell
To
the truth on that
admit
one.
that he had made a mistake.
Right. And I think that's what most people would.
So, Colleen, what is the lesson that we can learn about people really needing to admit when they've done something wrong? What are the lessons we can learn in this, I wonder? This woman. Oh my gosh.
It's like pride. They don't want to admit they did something wrong, or they don't want to admit that, like, you know, they don't want to do something that could hurt someone or get someone in
Right.
trouble or whatever, you know. So they just.
Maybe I get that, but I really feel like there is some subconscious projection in there where she knows if she admits to even one little thing, the deck of cards that are, you know, whatever you call that when people like build a little house of cards, whatever, she knows if one little card gets tapped, the entire house falls down. The entire house has already fallen down. She's just in denial about that. But it will absolutely, like, irrevocably fall down if she makes admission to one little thing. And I think either consciously or subconsciously, she's alluding to that with all of this. And she may not even have any idea about it, but maybe she knows. Maybe she knows.
Are for no reason. Would you have another relax on your phone that you're?
Well,
gonna...
I'm trying to think of like if I could tie that into.
Well, I was going to ask you.
Lying.
I was going to ask you to
Okay.
lie to me.
Oh, okay.
I was going to ask you to.
Help me out.
You know that game, like Two Truths and a Lie, where you
Yeah.
tell 3 things.
Yes, yeah.
And 2 of them are true and 1's a lie.
Okay.
We can do our own version. It doesn't have to be 3 things. That's a lot to think
Okay.
about. Can you tell me 2 things, like 1 thing that's true and 1 thing that's a lie?
Just like off the top of my. Okay, sure.
Let's see if I can tell.
Okay. This is. I mean, it's really hard to.
They did a
to
cut.
just off the top of my head come up with.
That's so
Thanks.
funny.
Okay.
I love that they did a cut because he's probably like, okay, sure, yeah. What? He's probably thinking, oh, I mean, I guess he's got to be careful. This is on the World Wide Web, and he knows people are psychoanalyzing both of them. Well, he knows people like me are psychoanalyzing. Maybe not everyone is. Yeah, so I'm sure you had to think about that because you got to be real careful.
I could see which one is a lie.
I want to see if I can guess.
Okay. This was a game show?
No.
Oh. This was a game?
Yeah, there's
I've heard-
a game
okay.
called like Two Truths and a Lie.
God, I'm nervous.
Okay.
Is this
Yeah, you probably should be.
this is what polygraphs feel like?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Fun fact of the day. I
I
love
would
that I get
fi-
to share this. And if you've already made it this far in the video, you are a saint. I've actually taken a polygraph before, not because I'm a criminal. I used to work for sort of throughout the criminal justice system in my local area. And so part of my job interview process was taking a polygraph test. And it was the most fascinating thing I've ever done for a job interview. Some people don't feel that they're actually very reliable, but it was really interesting. They test, you got to make sure to sit like with both feet on the ground. You got to make sure that you don't shift your weight around. They have something under you, making sure that your weight's not shifting around. They have something around your chest to monitor your breathing, to see if your breathing changes if you get nervous. They have something to monitor whether you're sweating, I think, on your finger, at least the one that I did. It is, if you ever get the chance to do one for the heck of it, just do it. It's fun, even if they don't count for anything. Sorry, that was such a tangent, but
So
I think I would
miserably.
just fail a
Because I'd be
polygraph
so
test.
panicked. Because I'm that person that like, if I think I talked about this in the episode last week that when I was flying home, like, because you weren't on the episode last week. But I'm the person that like, when I walk out of a store and you walk through like the alarm system where there's a person there to check what's in your bag, I think I'm always like, I accidentally, something's shoved in my clothes. I stole something on, like, I think I'm going to
you
get
shop
caught.
with- really? When you walk through
I think I'm gonna get
anything
caught.
where, like,
Okay, I feel like people just need to don't do this. I'm giving terrible advice, and I'm probably getting more snarky the later it gets. I feel like people could totally make a meme out of Colleen saying, "I feel like I'm gonna get caught." Yeah, girl. Yeah. Oh no! Why is it not loading?
Even like going through security at the airport.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're going to find something horrible.
They're gonna find it, yeah.
drugs. There's
Right.
if a drug dog, like one of those dogs, is like sniff for drugs or sniff for bombs. I'm like, they're
Yeah.
gonna find drugs on
Drugs,
me for
yeah.
sure. Like,
Right.
I'm confident I'm gonna have something on
that's
me.
funny. I feel the same way.
So like I'd feel like. Anyway, go ahead and.
Yeah.
There
Like
are-
if you drive past
what
like
is-
a cop.
We gotta
like,
wait for a
and you were going,
faraway
like, the speed
shot.
limit,
There are
everyone's finding-
faces?
instantly like, well, he's gonna
Or
find
like
all the things that
checkpoints,
I've done wrong. Yeah,
or
yeah.
checkpoints, or like
Yeah.
if they pull you over for something small, like your registration or something,
Yeah,
know,
that-
little, like
Yeah.
something that's not like speeding a little bit or something. I'm like, they're going to.
Bring you to
I'm
jail.
gonna go to
Whoa,
prison.
whoa!
Yeah.
What
Like,
on?
I'm gonna be-
What are? Why are there 2 open mouths with uvulas? I just now noticed that. What is these people? Do you see that behind the table? These people get weirder and weirder. I swear. Oh my word.
Yeah.
Like I'm always so terrified. Like I start crying every time because I think I'm like panicked. I'm gonna get in trouble. Anyway, go ahead and.
Okay. I once saved a kid from drowning in the ocean.
Okay.
I have only pooped on an airplane once in my life. And I was once a snowboard instructor.
Well, I know that you've saved someone from drowning in the ocean.
This is hard because
What do we think? I think I saw a clip. I think I know the answer, but I'm curious what y'all. If you've made it this far in the video, put your comment down below as to what you think is the truth versus the lies. No, 2 truths and a lie. Truths, what the truths are and what the lie is.
Be pretty well.
And the other two, you've only pooped on an airplane once. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
And then the other one was you're a snowboard
Why
instructor.
are we talking about pooping?
For
We
winter.
are adults. We're adults.
I'm going to say that the snowboard instructor is true. Because I know you used to snowboard a lot. And I wouldn't put it past you that. And I feel like you're weird about pooping. Like for some, like I feel like you wouldn't be able to poop on an airplane.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, I also feel like you're the type of person who would keep tally of how many times you pooped on an airplane.
Just once.
Yeah. So, so that means I think they're all true. No, I'm going to say that the poop is a lie.
You're right. I've never pooped on a plane.
You've never?
Not one time. Never.
Oh my God.
You say that as someone who poops every flight, it sounds like.
Not every flight, but I'm sure that I have.
I don't even know how one would do that. I don't think they're designed
So, I mean,
that
there
way.
are people in the world that will share personal details like this with anyone and everyone and will not care. And these people are not inherently creepy individuals. So I recognize there are people like Colleen who will happily share with the entire world how often they like to poop on planes. However, with Colleen's history of just doing absurd things and crossing absurd boundaries and never truly taking accountability for those actions, her being willing to talk about how much she poops on planes, I don't know what it is, but it's like there is a part of her brain that is permanently childlike, and I really think that it must have something to do with trauma. I don't know. I can't diagnose things, but that is my honest thought. I know I'm not alone in that. But like, seriously, people, can we not be talking about poop on our grown-up podcast? Let's go back to socks. I love socks.
I don't remember ever doing it, but I'm very confident that I have.
I don't think anybody does.
I'm sure that I have.
You,
But I don't
yeah.
remember a
Good
time
for
that I
you.
have. But I used to fly so often that like there's no way that I would have been able to avoid that happening at some point. I'm sure that I have.
Cool.
You win. Now you.
I know. You can't. I will see it, but like it's not that you were bad at lying though. You were good at lying just now. It's just that I know you and I know those other things.
Yeah. You go now. You do one.
I literally can't even think of things.
It's hard, right?
That is
so
something that I
hard.
will
Like,
tell
this is my idea, and
anything.
anyone who wants to know what married life is like, at least in my experience, it is unfortunately true that you're going to know all about each other's very personal habits eventually. Don't even worry about trying to pretend you don't poop if you're a girl. Girls poop. It's just embrace the reality of the awkward parts of life as soon as you can in marriage, because that's just going to be life for the rest of your life. My husband and I won't even go there. We talk about it a lot because we have to, not because we want to, but whatever.
Think of anything.
Yeah.
I literally can't think of anything. I have no idea. But I did just think of I thought of a lie that I have told.
Okay.
One.
I've told this story.
World, she's about to admit to a lie. This is earth-shattering. Everybody, hold your breaths.
By an officer to lie. Like an officer told me to lie.
An
Because-
officer
Of customs, like
Her
customs
Majesty's Service?
patrol.
A customs officer.
Yes. I was traveling. It was very early on in my career, like a billion years ago. And I, was just people would be like, hey, you want to come perform at this bar? Want to come perform at this basement of this restaurant? And I just said yes to everything back then and would scrounge up, find a way to like work double shifts and save enough money to buy an airplane ticket to get to these locations. And then find people on Facebook and be like, hey, can I crash at your apartment? Like I was totally insane.
I do remember her referencing the whole like bar, basement, whatever situation with the person she went to Paris with. And I find it interesting. I mean, I guess that's just maybe been really more so on her brain as to how far she probably has been pondering a lot. Like, wow, I went from there to here to... She might be honestly feeling like she's kind of back in the same state that she was in when she was scrounging around going to all the bars. Who knows? It's interesting. But honestly, I feel like if bars and basements accepted her nowadays, she would do it. I don't know. Interesting.
So I was invited to go to London. Yeah, this is real. I was invited to go to London And I think that's, yeah. And I was performing, like doing these gigs, whatever, but I didn't know that like I needed a visa or something. I don't even remember. Or I thought I don't even remember. It was so long ago.
Oh, 'cause
but
you're
there's
technically
something
working?
because I was technically working, but I went over to like see friends, and then I was working, but I was performing. I certainly was performing. So that is technically working, you know? So I don't know if I'm like now admitting like something that's going to put me in jail or something right now. I'm like a little nervous right now as I even talk about it now. But
There are so many moments in this that people who really didn't like her, who don't like her, could totally clip and make it sound like she's admitting to way bigger things than I'm sure she is.
that like there'd be an issue because I'm pretty sure I asked the people who had invited me to come over and perform, like, do I need anything when I get there? Like,
Where is
no,
this?
just, I think I was going to London.
What's with you and all your England stories today?
So many England stories.
It's just you lying in England a lot.
Yeah, so, well, I didn't lie in the first story, but so we get to border control or whatever, and I said, do I need any documents or anything? And they're like, oh no, you just say you're here to like visit friends and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't know what the importance was of like, I didn't understand it. So I just get there and the border patrol person is like, what are you here for? And I was with a friend, and the friend was like, we're just visiting. And then he's like, I need to see your flights home. Can I see your documentation to go home? And I hand him my schedule, which the schedule on it had like the gigs I was doing.
He said, can I see your plane ticket? And you gave him your schedule?
Yeah, because it was like, he wanted my flight information home. He's like, let me see your flight information home.
Okay.
And so on my schedule that I had like printed out this like schedule of my life for the week that I was there or whatever, had my flight information on it.
Yeah,
So I didn't have like a printed boarding ticket.
No, I understand. I follow,
and this was so long ago, or you didn't have it on your phone either.
Right.
Like you printed it out back then, back in the olden days.
You're just like, these are also my MapQuest directions?
Yeah, literally. And so it had on the
MapQuest.
addresses of the different like gigs I was going to do while I was in town. And these weren't like big theater gigs. It was like the cast of, I don't know if this was the same trip, but like the gigs I did back then was like the cast of Naked Boys Singing wanted me to like make an appearance in their production. And like, there's like a random cabaret that I like hopped on stage for 5 minutes.
I have no idea what that show is or was, but I can promise you I will never go to that show, and you would never catch me dead performing at that show. But she was probably just taking anything and everything she could. And she certainly, absolutely, in all of her references of all the things she's done, she's trying to hang on to the tidbits of relevancy and coolness and like desperately not wanting to let her viewers forget that she once made it in life. I mean, I really think there's a lot of that going on, but
a gay bar like asked me to come perform at 1 a.m. for 10 minutes. You know, there's just like random gigs like that. So
asked me to perform.
And there was one venue I think that I was performing at, like a legit venue, but regardless, I wasn't supposed to say that I was performing while I was there. So he looks at my thing and sees all these like venues on my schedule. He's like, what is this? Are you a performer? And I was like, yeah. He's like, are you performing here? And I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, like some of my friends are having shows. I'm like doing it with like other friends. Like I don't, like friends ask me to come over and like perform in their things, but like, he's like, you told me that you weren't working here. You know that it is illegal. It is
Were you being paid?
I was being paid like very small amounts of money. There wasn't much money happening. But there was money happening.
For the shows, or
I love that. I knew she was going to stress it wasn't that much money, because she, I think, really wants the world to know that at one time she was bringing in the big bucks. She used to be amazing. Let's not forget how amazing she used to be, guys. Used to be on Broadway. Used to get asked to do all the amazing things.
Stay at these people's houses that you found on Facebook.
Was I being paid a what? What did you say?
Nothing.
I don't know what you said, but I was being paid, I think, but like not, like it was like literally probably not enough to cover the flight there.
Yeah.
Kind of payment, you know?
Sure.
So
I mean, I guess.
anyway, so I start to panic because I was like,
care.
oh no, am I in trouble? Because he says, you know, it is illegal to lie to a Border Patrol officer. So I'm panicked because it was a completely like innocent mistake on my part. I didn't understand. I didn't know. So then I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be lying to this person? Am I going to go to prison? I'm a horrible liar. Like, so I'm supposed to lie and say I'm not performing, but I am performing. Like, what do I do? He sees that I'm performing at these venues. So I was like, oh no, I just start stuttering and like freaking out.
Yeah.
And he's like, he made me go to like essentially airport prison And
Which
so
does
I'm in
exist.
airport prison with
Describe-
I don't know how many people do or don't know that. I feel like I was way too old to find out that airport prison, there really is a place that they will take you if they do not think that you are a good person. Yeah. I know one of my relatives went there not because they deserved it, but they made a very ill-timed joke that did not go over well, and they had a hilarious experience that was not very pleasant at airport prison for a brief moment.
Or prison.
It's just where they detain you so
you're
they
just
can
in a
like
room?
see if you're trying to steal from, because they don't want you to steal money from their government and not pay taxes on it. Like
right,
it makes
okay.
perfect sense. But I didn't know then that that's why there are visas and that's why you go through all that stuff.
Okay,
to
so
like,
you're in this room, then what happens?
So we're there for hours
He's
and hours
so
and hours.
bored.
I am bawling because I think I'm going to prison. And I didn't have money to bail
He's like,
myself out of prison in another country. I'm freaking out. The friend I'm with is like, it's fine, whatever. So they had to separate us. And they had like an officer come in and interview us one at a time. And to see if we were stealing money from their government. By like, they thought we were going there to work and making $1 million and not paying taxes on it or whatever. And so
totally.
I was like, I went in and I was like, I just need to be honest. I don't want to be caught lying. Like I've seen all these like police shows where they lie and they get caught. I'm just going to tell the truth.
Yeah.
So I get in this police office, this officer, whatever, and he's like, okay, I'm recording this conversation. He pushes the tape recorder and he's like,
What?
yes. What? How are you? I've told this story so many times. I feel like all over the place, but okay. So anyway, he pushed the
So
tape recorder
really,
on, and
Eric, you're just like completely clueless and you haven't paid attention to me all these years that we've been married. You didn't know this story? Really, dude? You're so dumb. That's what she's saying. Anyway, maybe I'm just reading too far into things, but
falling. And because I think I'm about to go to prison. Like, I really thought this. And he's like,
darn,
like,
should have
"I
gotten
need
her
you
when
to
they
calm
could have.
down. I need you to take a breath. You have to calm down." I was like, okay. You know, we're not allowed to call. I can't call my home. I can't call anyone. So no one knows this is happening to me. So I'm
Was
just
she
thinking
about
I'm
to
gonna be
say
stuck in
husband?
prison,
I
nobody to
can't call
contact
my
me.
husband? Oh my word. I don't know the timeline enough of Colleen to know, but wouldn't that have just been so awkward? Can't call my husband, who I might have cheated on with you, and now I'm married. Yeah, we're just gonna say home. We're just gonna pretend that never happened. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm putting words in her mouth, but
And he's like, I'm gonna ask you some questions and just be honest. I was like, okay. He's like, this is being recorded. Do you understand it's being recorded? Yes, I do. Okay. During your stay here in our country, are you going to be making any money? Are you going to be paid for any reason during your stay here or something? And I said, well, what I'm gonna do is and I started like stuttering and like, I was like, I'm gonna perform at my friend's shows. And I started telling the truth. And he puts his hand up to me and he stops me and he just shakes his head no. He doesn't say anything because it's like an audio recording. He just shakes his head no. And I was like, no. I just said no. And he like nodded his head like, yes, correct. Just like do what I tell you. So he'd ask me a question and he'd shake his head yes or no, telling me what to say.
my word.
So that I'd be okay.
Is this
Because I
true?
was like digging myself in a hole.
You think you want to do the paperwork?
Because he's like, I don't want to put this weird girl who's clearly having a panic attack. I don't want to put her in prison. Like she doesn't know what she's clearly, it was true. Like you looked at that.
I wouldn't know what to do in a situation like that, because if this is true. Because on the one hand, you want to trust that that person has your best interest and they really are just trying to keep you out of trouble. But the other hand, it's like, what if they're trying to catch me in a very clear lie about the fact that, no, I'm not there to perform, even though I am here to perform, and I admitted that, and they're trying to catch me in the lie about the fact that I'm not performing so they can for sure put me... I wouldn't even know what to do. I think at that point, I'd be like, do whatever you want to do. I have nothing to say.
This is where I was performing. It was like gay bars and like there was one small venue, it was a very small theater. So I think that like he probably looked at him and was like, this girl's just an idiot. Like she just didn't know she had to do all this work. And whoever brought her over here, because I gave him the contact of the people that flew me over to perform, and they called
So you
them.
just immediately ratted everyone out.
I didn't mean to rat them out. I was like, no, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like these people brought me over here. Like
Yeah,
I
you're
like I was
horrible
just
criminal.
trying to get people to like, they'll help me. Call them. Like they know who I am. So
gosh.
I had to lie and say like, no, and the truth was I like really didn't make any money while I was there. But then what was funny is then they have to like they detain all your luggage. And so when they give you your luggage back, they open it to make sure it's yours or whatever, right? So they they're like, okay, we're going to give you your luggage back before you can go. We were there for hours and hours and hours. They opened my luggage.
Just all signed headshots.
It was signed headshots, signed
Really?
magic
I was
kits,
making.
Oh,
signed
no.
T-shirts. Like, well, it was the T-shirts weren't signed, but it was like merch. There's so much merch, like on top of my clothes. Like I packed my clothes and I put merch on top to sell, because I knew I wasn't making much money. Like I certainly wasn't making money at the bars and whatever, but like the theater gig I
Is
was
it the
doing, I wasn't
same
making much money.
people, the same officers?
So I'm curious
customs?
if
No,
she
it was
was
someone else,
so not. Yeah, I'm not involved in that world at all. It's like if you are not big enough to be invited to anywhere huge, it's all these random places. Does that mean you're still big enough to have merch, or is this part of what a lot of people see as her very self-important, pretentious attitude of, certainly they adore me, therefore of course they will want the merch that I will basically kind of force upon them? I don't know. Maybe merch is way bigger than I realize, and you can be the tiniest little person, but if you have 5 fans, they will want your merch. I don't know. I find that to be an odd combination of things. Whatever. And of course, like, money grab.
I mean, this looked like you idiot.
Can't think that that's a common. I mean, it's not like you're smuggling.
Oh my gosh! But I was like mortified, and I was like, I give them away for free. I just give them to everybody. I was just like panicking.
You're the worst criminal
I'm
in
the
the world.
worst criminal. I'm such a bad freaking liar. Sorry if
Yeah.
that story was very long and boring, but that's probably like one of my biggest lies that was like caused major anxiety.
Oh, it all makes so much sense now. Was this very obvious before and I just now picked up on it? Don't blame me. It's late at night. She wants to prove to the world that if she were lying, we would have known it very overtly. So clearly she's not lying. She's innocent of all charges. This woman. I mean, like, we do see her lies as very obvious, but I think she does not see her lies as obvious because she probably doesn't even know she's lying. But even if she does know, I think she's just like, I'm not making any sense. I think basically, long story short, she's doing anything and everything she possibly can to clear her name and make herself seem as innocent as possible. Oh my word, it never ends with this one.
My life was.
I can tell.
I'm still panicked when I go to customs.
You're still panicked recalling the events. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Every time I go through customs, I'm like, I'm not here to steal anything.
Yeah.
I have a visa. Look, this is my visa.
Right.
I'm panicked every time. Anyway.
Maybe don't travel.
I don't go through customs enough for that to
Just do
be
YouTube.
an
Lucky
issue
you.
for me. But
Anyway, that's my lying story. And I don't have any lies to tell you because I just can't think of anything. And you know everything about me anyway.
Uh-huh.
yeah, you can't. Well, I mean, yeah, it's hard to think of things.
But I think we've talked enough about lying, I guess. Did you?
Okay.
I know you have a phone full of stuff that you wanted to vent about.
We can end with. Just thought this was kind of funny. While you were gone,
In Paris.
bonjour, by the way.
Oof.
Yeah, rough. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
This
Bonjour.
is truly, if I don't expect anyone to listen to my entire reaction to this whole podcast, because this podcast is painful and I feel like I only make it even more painful with my random commentary. This is so, I feel like outside of what went on that got all of her sponsors just running away from her, I don't even think their podcast has enough substance to merit sponsors outside of everything that happened. It is so dry, not stuff that people can relate to. If you're talking about having all your own merch and all of that, I mean, like socks, sure, but like find stuff that a vast majority of humanity can relate to and themselves discuss and themselves actually want to think about, rather than how high your socks should be. Like, oh my word, this is so bad.
You're this audibly ick.
Well, I can't do it either. It's just Americans trying to speak French is not pretty.
It's not great. I slept on your side of the bed because I missed you so much.
Oh.
Really?
You have an issue with the corner fitted sheet.
Oh my God.
And that's a lie. Corner fitted sheets are liars because they're not fitting over the corners and staying there. There's nothing worse to me than waking up in the middle of the night and being woken up in the middle of the night by children and realizing that the corner of the corner sheet has slipped off and you're now like on half like mattress or mattress pad and the corner sheet is like
that.
it's like underneath you and you know you're just too tired to do anything about it.
The worst.
So you just kind of like suffer through it, and then eventually it drives you so crazy you get up and you get it all the way around the corner, and then you wake up again. This happened to me multiple nights with that corner sheet.
The worst.
Poor
So I just was like, I want
parrot.
to talk about how much I hate that.
He misses his wife so much because she's the one on the edge with the corner thing that pops up all the time, and now he's reminded how much he misses her because he's getting slapped in the face with the sheet. Oh well, you know what? I mean, hey, I think more of us can relate to how obnoxious fitted sheets are, which I believe that's what he's trying to talk about. They are annoying to put on, take off words anyway, but.
Fitted sheets just suck.
Fitted sheets.
You know what's worse than fitted sheets?
Is that
though?
what is in corner sheets?
Yeah, you were saying cornered sheets. I was just letting it go. It's a cute name for it.
You were just letting it go.
I was letting it go.
They need sleep.
Yeah.
I
It's
do
not
too.
corner sheets. It's fitted sheets.
Thank you. Okay.
Why did I say corner sheets? Because it's the corner of a fitted sheet.
There you go.
I don't know why. I'm not in
Do
your
people
brain.
call them corner sheets?
No.
You do.
That's real weird. I think.
I've only ever called them
I
fitted
think they're
sheets.
fitted sheets, and they're called fitted sheets. What? But in my mind, I'm like, they have corners. They're corner sheets.
Well, don't all
But
sheets
I'm-
have corners?
Because your mind just
Oh,
wants to run away from
gosh.
this podcast.
Don't they?
I have to go to a doctor. Anyway, yeah, you don't like fitted sheets either.
Well, I don't like it when they come up, and I don't like folding a fitted sheet.
Yeah.
But what's worse to me than a fitted sheet is a regular sheet. Like when beds have there's a fitted sheet,
Throw it away.
throw it in the trash.
Make a Halloween
The
costume.
only good use of just a regular plain old sheet is making forts with your kids and you cutting it up and making costumes
You know
for
what's a scam?
gigs. What?
Sheet sets. Like, okay, yeah, we're gonna give you a corner or a fitted sheet, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna give you the top sheet and maybe a pillowcase
Yeah,
or
a couple
two.
pillowcases.
So you're giving me essentially the middle part is trash because what am I gonna do with
Hate a
this?
regular sheet.
What's the point?
I wonder. I'm so curious. I hope people tell us in the comments. Do people actually use the regular sheets?
Maybe people that live in places where they just don't have air conditioning.
We don't, honestly. It's a very weird, unattractive setup. Eventually we'll work on it, but I use just a cozy cuddle up blanket, and my husband actually found a blanket that is supposed to keep you cool online because he runs hot, I run cold. I think that's a common issue with guys and girls a lot of times. So we don't have a singular sheet that we use. Not that anyone's asking, but I mean, I guess their conversation topic got me talking. So I suppose this is better than merch and socks. So, but I was talking about socks too. So never mind. Whatever. It's whatever.
That's all I can sleep with.
Oh, I couldn't do that. I have
I remember
to be
doing that in
freezing
certain
cold.
places when I was a child or something.
Really?
Yeah, having to just sleep with the top sheet.
Because it was too hot.
Because it was too hot, love. Sorry to bore you. When you're bored, you rub your eyeball really hard. That's how I always can tell you're bored.
It wasn't the yawn that did it?
You yawn and you for some reason you use your ring finger to rub your eye, your bare eyeball. Last thing, okay?
Okay, wow. So he has captured all of her physicalities that she very overtly shows when she's bored. This woman has done it a lot, and he's gotten annoyed a lot, clearly. And also, I find it really interesting that they call each other love and lovey. I mean, I hope that somehow secretly behind closed doors, they somehow have a great relationship and they actually mean those loving names. But I'm worried that they actually use them more passively, or even there's jealousy that there are people out there that have great relationships who actually mean those pet names, and they know deep down inside they don't have that kind of relationship, but they say it just kind of out of spite to each other, to themselves. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it's just if you're going to call each other love, don't be passive in the same sentence. Anyway.
No, do all the things.
This
Doesn't need to be the
is
last.
the last of them. Well, I guess I got two more. I thought I was giving our kids a Flintstone vitamin this morning.
Love that.
Don't come for me. I didn't. The doctor said try Flintstone's vitamin for a reason. Okay.
I don't know why anyone would come for you for that.
Someone's gonna be like, they're actually this. I don't know. You know.
Whatever. Ignore the
But
internet.
it's just, it was funny to me that I was like,
Which
you
you
guys
have
want
done.
your Flintstone
Just
vitamin? Yay. And then it was like, wait, this is crazy to me that Flintstones is a cartoon from a very long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's identifiable to me now. And I think everybody is as a vitamin, and they have no idea that it was once a cartoon show. And so I looked up, I was like, how did this hold on for so long? Because I was like, when was the Flintstones, when did that air? When do you think?
60s.
You're correct.
Yeah.
1960, the Flintstones premiered, and it was the first ever primetime cartoon.
Oh, wow.
The Flintstones was in prime time. Guess what? Lasted for 6 years. That's it.
Wow. Well, they made the movie, the life.
They did make that movie,
real
yeah.
people
John
movie
Goodman and Rick Moranis was Barney. Is that
Barney?
correct? Yeah. Rick Moranis.
Wait, there's a character named Barney?
Barney Rubble. Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble.
Oh,
I
Barney's
only know
shorter,
Barney
right?
is the purple dinosaur.
I don't know what the Jetsons theme song just popped in my head. In any case, I was trying to think about the name. Betty Rubble?
I don't know.
Wilma?
And Pebbles is the little girl, right?
Bam Bam.
Bam Bam. Who's Pebbles?
Cereal.
What?
Could be Pebbles. I don't know.
Cereal Pebbles?
Well, I'm just saying,
Wait,
What?
is the Pebbles a cereal?
yeah. Fruity Pebbles.
What is going
Fruity Pebbles.
on?
Oh, there were Flintstones on Fruity Pebbles. Are they still on Fruity Pebbles?
What? The Flintstones on Fruity
caffeine?
Pebbles?
Yes, I haven't met.
I feel like this is what your brain does when the caffeine hits. I'm pretty sure my husband can attest to that with me, the poor man. What is happening right now? Anyway.
Into facts here. I just can't believe that culturally it's gonna be a vitamin, but it was a cartoon that was only on for 6 years, and we're talking. Stop thinking of other things. I can see your eyeballs. You're not
I know,
listening
but
to me.
I'm just having a brain
no.
explosion of aren't Flintstones connected to Fruity Pebbles somehow?
Oh, like they're on the box?
Yeah.
I think they use the same font.
That's so interesting.
No,
we can read super far into things or not far into things at all. But I wonder if there likely has been a pattern of her just wandering off and not staying focused on what he's interested in. And I'm sure this harkens back to comments on the previous video that I made where people really felt bad for him in their relationship. And I would not be shocked at all if she has just not made him feel like he's actually worth her truly focusing her attention on and listening to anything, whatever it is that he's talking about for the full extent of what he's wanting to talk about. And this could be a reaction of just could you please for once in your life just actually pay attention to everything that I'm saying right now and stop just wandering off in your head and doing whatever else it is that you want. Maybe. I don't know. He's probably relieved that she actually was sort of still staying on the topic, just kind of stuck in one element of it. You can see he's kind of like, oh, you're still thinking about the topic. Okay, cool. Finally. Play.
We're seeing the characters, the Flintstone characters on the Fruity Pebbles box.
Then who's on Cocoa Pebbles then?
I can't think of it. I know they're on the Fruity Pebbles
You're going to
box.
the doctor too.
Okay, anyway, sorry. So they're
So
vitamins.
it's just funny to me that culturally,
That's crazy.
they're
They're
gonna be
still
completely unaware of this cartoon that was only on for 6 years, and we're talking at this point, math years ago, 64 years ago.
Math years
what
ago.
I mean?
I like that.
It's so boring that I'm talking about Flintstones vitamins. And you can't even hold in your yawn. That's great. So insane. The face you just made. So, anyways,
He is so. I feel like we're starting to see, and I think someone commented this maybe, and sorry, I don't know what's going on with my leg, but we're probably starting to get a little glimpse into the reality of their dynamic of he is just so fed up with feeling minimalized and overlooked and not truly cared about and not truly listened to and just all these things. And he's just sitting there like, my gosh, you don't even try to hide your yawn. You're so clearly bored. And I'm just trying to talk about my thing after you talked forever and ever about your thing. But apparently my thing is not interesting enough to you. He probably feels like he just can never catch a break with this woman. And my heart goes out to him. I mean, that if that is true, if we're not just reading too much into things and that really is their dynamic, that's awful. That's an awful feeling. I mean, there are times, especially ask my husband after I have coffee, there's times where we'd spend way too long talking about a given thing. But the reality is we have to learn patience with each other. We have to learn within our own selves, okay, maybe I should rein it in a little bit. And sometimes maybe it's okay to just talk. Sometimes we just need to talk. If my husband's got a cool idea for a side thing that he wants to do and he just has a lot to share about stuff that I understand 50% of it and the other half, I'm like, I will understand that one day. I mean, great. Let him have his moment. And it sounds like she just doesn't do that with Erik, which is very sad.
It's like, I have to get to the bottom of this, and I know you're all, one person listening is interested. Hi, Mom. Is that like this big sponsor
and she's not even
for the Flintstones cartoon
apologizing.
when it was
Like, that's the thing that just kills me. She's not like, I'm sorry. Didn't realize I was coming off as so bored. Like, let me kind of read. She's just like, yeah, I am bored. And that's a you problem, not a me problem. And it's just, I'm sure she rarely, if ever, admits that she's wrong on anything. Because it's not like we've seen that displayed before.
time on ABC in 1960 was the one. Are you yawning again? Are you lying about yawning? Is this a lie yawn? Is this how you're proving that you can do a fake? You can lie and it's a fake yawn.
There's no lie. I'm just yawning.
Fake a yawn right now.
I'm very tired. You can't fake a yawn. That's impossible.
Actually, you kind of can.
Faking a yawn and faking laughs.
I can do a good fake yawn, just not right now. It was sponsored by one of those, the company, whatever, it's some laboratory, whatever. They make like 1-a-day vitamins. They sponsored the Flintstones cartoon, like the actual vitamins was. There was no. Are you kidding me? There was no Flintstones vitamins.
So at this point, I mean, like, something needs to change. She can't, and this probably really is the dynamic. She just does not care. And she will just keep yawning because she's tired, and it's just like, whatever. Like, he doesn't like it. I do not care. Like, and yeah, if you're really, really tired and you can't stop yawning, it's not that you can necessarily control that, but her just laughing about it and just not caring is not okay. Like, there needs to be more of an apology given, more of like a recognition of, I'm sure this is annoying for you. I'm so sorry. I'm just jet lagged or whatever it is. And you can tell he is just like seething. Like, every single time he calls out her yawn, it's just getting more and more like he just wants to explode. I feel bad for him. I really do. And I don't like him, but I feel bad for him.
Like, hey, we'll make a vitamin of your thing for kids from your cartoon.
In the 60s?
I guess, yeah, in like 1966.
Those 1-a-day vitamins have been happening since the 60s?
I don't know. I Googled this, but you know what I mean? Like the kind of lazy Google where you just like ask a question and like just.
But how are Flintstone vitamins still a thing is the question. Not how do they start, but how is it still a thing?
That's my question. It's like, it's like crazy to me that they're like, yeah, Flintstones vitamins, but like, they just think that's a vitamin. They didn't know that that's a cartoon.
Yeah, I know. But
it's kind of same here. You know what I mean? I never really watched. Obviously, it wasn't around in the 60s.
I feel like I don't remember watching it. I knew of it. And I feel like I remember a lot of people
culturally, you're aware of it because of the vitamins.
Well, and the show. And I remember a lot of people being those characters for like Halloweens.
The show was replayed.
I feel like
please tell me you don't say
Halloweens. They are on
Halloweens.
Fruity Pebbles. They're on Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles.
Halloweens?
I did just now. Look at Flintstone characters on Fruity Pebbles.
Whatever.
I was not imagining it.
Imagine if that was one of those Mandela effect things and they weren't.
I knew it.
Those are weird. If y'all, are you aware of Mandela effects where it's like everybody, what's the word? Not cohesively, everyone, whatever, together has the same somewhat incorrect memory of like an advertisement or some such? That is bizarre and fascinating. You should totally look into it.
Branded with Fruity Pebbles.
I don't know, love. I'm just,
is that a Hanna-Barbera cereal?
Okay. What is the mascot of Fruity Pebbles? While Fred from the beloved cartoon The Flintstones isn't your traditional mascot, he has been recognizable on boxes of Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles cereals for over 50 years. So he is like on it. And Cocoa Pebbles too.
And vitamins. I'm just saying, Fred Flintstone was a branding icon.
He was. He's like, wait, hold on a second. I just typed Fruity Pebbles. I didn't even put like Flintstones. It's just, he is Fruity Pebbles. He is Fruity Pebbles. What about Cocoa Pebbles? Are they on both? How many things do they endorse?
A cartoon that hasn't been on the, like, you know.
They're on Cocoa Pebbles too.
What the heck?
Wait, why are Flintstones endorsing so many? How many?
But okay, we need a brand ambassador. What about that cartoon from the 60s? You know what I mean? Like, that could sell our vitamins.
I do remember that.
That could sell our cereal.
Where they like their feet are their wheels. from
Yeah,
the
and he's got
Flintstones? You
he's
remember
got
that?
the dinosaurs like a pet dog. Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking. Obviously, there's the.
Yeah, and you think that too. You're like, oh, like when the kids are in that car thing where they push it with their feet, you
I'm
think
clearly so like disinterested in all of this rambling that I'm like trying to figure out what's going on in the background. Like there's a very pastel colored thing. I'm pretty sure that's a deodorant that's kind of lying there. Like there's what is going, there's the tops of guitar. I don't even know what's happening. Anyway, sorry, random.
just like the Flintstones. Why was it so culturally impactful, and why is it used to sell all these goods? What other merchandise
Good
is
question.
Flintstones on that we didn't even realize?
I'm looking up like Flintstones products, and I'm not seeing anything else that's like, oh yeah, that thing. It's just vitamins and cereal. How weird that like those two things got branded as Flintstones and then like never stopped. Because, you know, you see like, you know, we'll go down the grocery store aisle and it's like Paw Patrol will be on gummies or cereal or oatmeal or something to sell to the kids. But like, then they don't.
But I can't imagine
50 years from now,
60
70
years from now, someone's like, oh, are you going to have your Paw Patrols today? Because Paw Patrols have been like identifiable as the little, you know,
gummies or the little
Teddy Grahams things, you know, or whatever they do, yogurts, like
mac and cheese, whatever.
Mac and cheese, sure. Like it's not how it's never going to happen.
Yeah, how did Flintstones do that?
How did they do
very
it?
interesting
Is there
question.
any other character that has done that over the years?
That's an
like,
interesting question. See,
only thing I
if
can
they
think of is,
like led with this and focused on topics like this that are like, it's actually interesting to think about. Maybe it's an obvious answer. I don't know. I have no idea how it is that we could just say, have you had your Flintstones? And everyone knows exactly what that means, or all the cereal. But that would be an interesting analysis of culture and trends and marketing and what makes certain things catch on versus die off. That'd be interesting. And if they focused on that, they'd get all kinds of audiences, because they'd get audiences that remembered when Flintstones were originally on television. They get audiences that have liked dressing up like them, people that do the gummies and like the cereal and are into marketing and into trends. And like, you could cater to so many more people, but it's just like there have been so many ads. They're just trying to drag this thing out and get as much money as they possibly can, because I'm sure they are bleeding money right now. But they really could do way more to make this way more interesting if they actually tried.
Fruit of the Loom underwear. I always think of lamb chops. That lamb chop. You know that little lamb, the little puppet.
Yes, I do know Lamb Chop.
Yeah.
She was cute.
You know what I'm talking about?
Lamb chop.
Lamb chop underwear. It's fun to wear. A special pair by Fruit of the Loom.
Never heard that
What?
jingle in my life. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No,
I know
I'm
words like
bored.
The cornucopia.
oh yeah, they know the cornucopia for Fruit of the Loom.
You know,
but
there's no cornucopia.
it's just fruit.
It's just the fruit.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say cornucopia. You said it.
I know, but you remembered it.
Didn't remember it. It's just a good word. I just wanted to say the word with you.
Anyway.
Line. Gotcha.
That's one of those, what's it called, Mandela effects?
Just brought it up. Yeah.
Anyway.
You were yawning. You didn't hear me.
I don't know if there's any other characters that have lasted that long that are like known.
He brought it back. He is still bitter. Understandably. But yeah, he just is like, I'm sure his thought process is, you aren't listening to me now, and you never listen to me ever. I'm very much betting that's how that sentence goes in his head.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know either. But these are the things that I think about and I think are interesting.
Me too.
I'm like an investigative reporter.
Let's figure it out. Let's get to the bottom of this, Lovey.
All right. So
Lovey.
Listen next week for a full expose on Flintstones marketing.
Y'all, I am
we'll get
down.
to the
If we can avoid talking about socks and merch and whatever the heck else it was that you talked about, and we just do an analysis on how basically a cartoon revolutionized America, let's have that conversation. I would love that. Please spare us the drudgery.
Yeah.
Fred. What's the other guy's name?
Barney.
It really is Barney?
Barney Rubble.
I thought Barney was a made-up name for that dinosaur. I really did. I did not think that
You
was
didn't think
a real-
anyone else was named Barney?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barney's Beanery.
Barney's what?
Beanery.
I definitely thought you said wienery. Barney's Beanery?
It is a
Really,
bar in West
Colleen?
Hollywood.
Really? See, what I find, and this is almost done, I should just let this finish, but it's just like the lack of, I don't even want to call it self-awareness. Like, I don't know how to describe it, and frankly, it's the same thing as with Gypsy Rose, even though I know her dynamic is it could be way more convoluted than any of us could even comprehend. I know that, but it's like, I would think that someone with any sense of, I would like to regain a level of my career back that I have lost, would not be making wiener jokes on YouTube. After everything that fed into the demise of her career, I would think, and same with Eugenia Cooney, if you've never watched anything about her, she is a fascinating situation where it's just like these people, they probably have all kinds of trauma that we can't even begin to understand. I'm sure it affects their processing and how and why they do absolutely everything in their life, but still, it's just like there's an entire disconnect of, if I did this thing that either nearly cost me my career or completely cost me my career, I'm going to do absolutely everything to not even come close to hearkening back to that. And I'm going to recreate and reinvent my brand into something new, because I obviously can't really go back to that ever again. You'd think that would be the progression, but instead she's sitting here talking about poop and wiener jokes. It's like she will not, cannot, does not want to understand any of it. And it's infuriating. And I don't know how much of it is like trauma based or some kind of mental health issue versus just like absurd levels of arrogance and narcissism. I don't even know. It is so bizarre.
Listening to the maybe weirdest episode we've done. Last week was pretty weird because I was all over the place in Paris and airports and whatnot.
It was painful.
This
one was a painful episode.
I don't know what we even talked about today, but hope you enjoyed. If you're still around, you are amazing.
Thank you.
Leave comments for us to chat about next week. Give us your opinion on the Flintstones.
Cool. I'm glad Colleen thinks I'm amazing. I would love to think that they are amazing. Anyway, my brain is so shot. I really don't have anything else to add to all of that, but I hope you found this interesting. Let me know if this was way too long, which it probably is, and I couldn't blame you. I totally understand. But if you enjoyed this, I will totally make myself a caffeinated drink next time, and we'll do this again next week. So, if you've made it this far, you are the saint. Okay.